Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving into some truly fascinating source material to reveal why running is fundamentally a brain-saving exercise and not just a leg workout. We constantly hear about running for heart health or, weight loss. But today, we're completely reframing how you think about lacing up your shoes. We're looking at some deep dive research from rehabilitation medicine experts to prove that a genuinely tough run is actually your ultimate cognitive upgrade.
So let's just jump right into this existential question posed by our sources. With modern medicine and rising life expectancies, it's really not entirely out of the realm of possibility that a lot of us could live well past 100. We've got medications and surgeries to fix our hearts and our joints, but if we live to be 130, protecting our cognitive function is the absolute ultimate challenge. Your entire quality of life depends completely on your brain's health. So, how do we protect it? Well, the answer might just lie in getting seriously out of breath.
Moving on to Section 1, the ultimate brain workout, debunking old myths.
Okay, we absolutely have to start by busting a massive, decades-old medical myth. Up until the 1960s, the medical consensus was that you are born with a set number of brain cells and, well, that's it. You just slowly lose them over your lifetime. Kind of depressing, right? But the timeline shifted. First, they discovered new brain cells in mice in 1962, and then finally, a massive breakthrough in 1998 confirmed it in adult humans. Your brain is highly capable of neurogenesis, meaning it can grow entirely new networks at literally any age. You are not stuck with a decaying organ. But these new cells don't just magically appear out of nowhere. They require a very specific stimulus to sprout.
This brings us to Section 2, rewiring your brain. The brain is an energy monster. Let's zoom in on exactly why the brain demands so much from your body to trigger this growth. 20%. The brain makes up less than 1/50th of your overall body weight, but it greedily hoovers up over 1/5 of your body's energy. It is an absolute diva of an organ. And here's the real kicker. Because it's trapped inside a hard skull, it cannot store fat or backup energy reserves. It relies entirely on a constant, real-time, optimized delivery of blood to function. If that blood flow drops, the brain literally starves.
So, the absolutely crucial point here is that running provides the precise stress and energy delivery needed to physically build and connect new pathways in this incredibly hungry organ. When you run, your heart pumps furiously, flooding the brain with blood. And this triggers a massive release of something called BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor. Think of BDNF as like miracle growth for your mind. It ensures new cells survive and helps them branch out, creating these complex networks that look exactly like international flight paths on a global map. You are physically rewiring your brain.
On to Section 3, microscopic body upgrades, deep inside the cells.
You see, running doesn't just build new roads, it cleans up the old ones too. Let's talk about mitophagy. Every cell has these little energy factories called mitochondria. Over time, they get old, damaged, and kind of inefficient. But high-intensity exercise triggers this vital self-cleaning process. By stressing your body through running, you literally signal your cells to break down the garbage and build fresh, highly efficient energy factories. It ensures your brain is always running on top-tier engines.
But the cleaning doesn't stop there. Running acts as a massive boost to your brain's nighttime garbage disposal, the glymphatic system. When you do moderate to high-intensity aerobic exercise, you are supercharging this system to wash away toxic proteins like beta amyloids while you sleep. And this is huge because these are the exact plaques associated with Alzheimer's and cognitive decline.
And this just brilliantly illustrates that the benefits are completely systemic. Your brain isn't isolated, it's getting a massive physiological buffet. Take lactate, for example. We used to think lactate was just that annoying fatigue toxin that makes your legs burn during a tough workout. But our sources reveal that the brain actually utilizes lactate as a highly efficient premium energy source. Plus, you grow incredibly dense microvascular networks, meaning your brain gets way better at regulating heat and soaking up nutrients.
Which leads to Section 4, proof from the lab, the hard evidence.
Now, you definitely don't have to just take my word for it. The lab evidence is wild. Scientists tested what actually grows the brain in mice. First, they gave them an enriched environment with puzzles, social interaction, giant cages, the whole shebang. And shockingly, that did almost nothing to create new brain cells. But the moment they introduced the physical stress of a simple running wheel, there was a massive explosion of new brain cells in the hippocampus. You literally cannot just think your way to a bigger brain. You have to physically stress the body.
Moving over to human trials, there was this massive 2-year study in Finland called the Finger Study, which looked at the elderly. They gave the participants diet plans, cognitive training, and exercise. But a deeper dive into the data proved that just losing weight or eating better wasn't enough. The cognitive improvements in processing speed and executive function were directly tied to one single metric: the improvement in their lung and heart capacity, their cardiorespiratory fitness.
The data on Parkinson's patients is absolutely striking. In a 6-month trial, the group doing zero exercise worsened by 3.2 points. Moderate walking, they still worsened by 2 points. But the high-intensity group, the ones hitting 80 to 85% of their max heart rate, they nearly halted the progression of the disease entirely, dropping to just a 0.3-point change. Intensity is the magic ingredient here.
And that brings us to Section 5, the high-intensity secret, getting out of breath.
So what's the actual dosage required to get these profound brain benefits? It isn't just about moving your body, it's about how hard you push it. And it really comes down to this golden metric, VO2 max, your cardiorespiratory fitness. You have to push your body to the point where it is desperately trying to process oxygen. When you reach this state, your body realizes it has to adapt to survive. Upgrading your VO2 max forces a beautiful, highly interconnected chain reaction. It's not just one organ working. Your lungs have to become incredibly efficient at pulling in maximum oxygen. Your heart literally grows thicker and stronger to pump massive volumes of blood. Your blood vessels must stay perfectly clear to transport it all rapidly. And finally, the mitochondria in your muscles and your brain burn that oxygen. Upgrading this single system forces every single organ to become younger and more resilient.
The thing is, you just cannot cheat this biological system. If you go for a leisurely walk, yes, it's comfortable and you'll burn some calories, which is great, but it does not trigger the brain's survival adaptation. If you aren't panting, sweating, and really stressing your physiological limits, your brain has absolutely no evolutionary reason to upgrade itself. It will just maintain the status quo, which, as we age, unfortunately means decline.
Actually, the medical expert in our source material found this out the hard way. Sidelined with a slipped disc, he had to stop running. To compensate, he walked massive distances, up to 42 kilometers in a single day. That's a literal marathon. Yet, his smartwatch and lab tests showed his cardiorespiratory fitness was actively plummeting. Without the intense, out-of-breath stimulus of running, your brain's protective armor fades quickly, no matter how many steps you log.
So, we now know that the literal fountain of youth for your mind, the ability to grow new cells and wash away toxic plaques, isn't found in a pill or a daily crossword puzzle. It is tied directly to how hard you are willing to push your lungs. Thanks for joining me on this explainer. I'm going to leave you with this final thought. Is your daily comfort today worth sacrificing your cognitive freedom tomorrow? Think about it. I'll catch you next time.